Hey guys, another build today. This is I'm recording this the same day I uploaded my last one, and it's more Kitsune. I'll talk more about that in a second, but yeah, I had just finished a grind for a really big for that last one, which I didn't have any right to be as bad as it ended up being. And I had this idea, which on paper was a lot worse. I'm like, okay, am I really about to grind to do another big build? Or do another, difficult build, especially with customs. But I decided, it's cool enough, I haven't seen anyone else do it, and I'm really striving to do the stuff that other people haven't done. But yeah, so the build is to use Kitsune in combination with Praying Mantis in order to farm mana outside of battle, which to my knowledge this is the only way to farm mana in the shop. And yeah, now the biggest thing for me in this one was actually getting all the units. I need 2 tier 4s and a tier 5, which is a lot better than 2 tier 5s and a tier 6 from the last one, which is probably why this one was a lot more viable, just because I could actually get the units I was looking for. But it went so much better than expected. So you see here, I'm trying for level ups, not really finding any, which is fine. I've got decent stats here. This pack itself is filled with a lot of faint pets, and a lot of things where I can buy it for a turn and have gotten value out of it. So I'm not really grabbing any self-scalers or any weird units, I suppose. I don't really know what wouldn't fit into that category now that I'm saying out loud, but stuff that like is going to help my full team rather than just like be a functioning member of the team for a bit. If that makes any sense. It genuinely might not, I'm not sure. But yeah, we're gonna sell 2 crows here, and we're getting the Mantis. Mantis is one of the 3 units we need, and it's also one of the 3 units we keep, because we're running Mantis in such a way that it's going to make 2 pets faint instead of 1. Now, if this was a good idea here is kind of up for debate, but here we get the second unit we're looking for, that's Kitsune. Now, Kitsune does 2, it's kind of like a double-faceted ability. The first thing it does is it brings all friendly mana to the pet in front of it after a friend faints, and the other thing it does is add 2 mana to that. So when a friend faints, it's generating mana. Which I knew this was going to be a cool pet when I first realized how its ability worked in Unicorn Pack, and I plan to run a lot more Kitsune. It's just a really fun pet. Having mana is really nice. It's not as nice as having trumpets, so we're looking for a mana spender here. But yeah, there's a lot of synergy with this build that I'll talk about here soon. You can see here, we're on 1 life, but this team's actually doing pretty well. Getting the Mantis to level 2 so fast means I was really able to do stuff. See here, that mana actually saves it for us and wins it for us. I forgot what I was saying, unfortunately. My apologies. But yeah, now the detriment to running it like this, and why I probably shouldn't have been running it like this until I got a mana spender, is I have to spend so much gold just refilling the team that I only get I don't get that much time to roll for the pet I'm looking for. But I got it this time. And so here we go. This is the Chimera. Chimera was nerfed from its previously overpowered position. I think it's in a much better place now, mostly because mana generation is worse. Yeah, mostly because mana generation is worse. Now, I could have used Sea Serpent as the pet I was looking for here. You can see here, we've already got it to level 2, and we've already got 14 mana outside of shop. and that's going to continue to scale in battle. And that is two 26/26s, which is really, really nice. Yeah, I think it's a fantastic team. And yeah, I could have used Sea Serpent, but I had just used Sea Serpent, and I get these earlier. And again, the mana is actually gonna draw it for us. Actually, I think the last time it went up for us. And I mean, 15 mana out of here is nothing to be scoffed at. You see here, I could have grabbed a mongoose for peanuts. I'm not sure if that would have been better or worse than the eagle. I did end up getting the eagle. It does generate more mana. And they have up front a 50-50 with coconut. But look at that, 39 mana, and about half of that or so, maybe even a bit more, is from outside battle. Okay, maybe a little less. Now, because you lose half your mana every turn, there is like a max amount that you can have here, really. I mean, you could pill stuff out of shop, but it gets a lot more difficult. I might at some point try to get 50 mana on a pet in shop, and unfortunately here we're gonna get Seahorse. Seahorse is a huge weakness of this build. As you can see, our Chimera summons nothing. So I'm gonna get us into the second game. So here we are in the second game. I'm gonna immediately say I have a very strange start. I think I got obliterated by axe handle hounds a lot here, and so I've run a very strange squad. Regardless of that, we're gonna win this. And man, on paper, this, yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was doing with this squad. I really don't like how it looks. It's so awful. And obviously we will lose with that. But the amount of synergy that this build had was incredibly surprising to me, but it makes a lot of sense. I'll explain it here. I mean, so obviously I'm using the Mantis to get feints. That was the main idea. I use the feints to get mana, and then I keep the mana on the Chimera. But the feint pets that I'm bringing in, naturally, I'm hoping for summons to save me on some gold for the next turns. Summons are naturally going to generate more mana, and feint pets are generally going to be my scaling. And so this really weird kooky build that definitely wasn't an intended way to play by the devs ends up being very viable. You see here on turn 5 we got the Chimera already, which is kind of nice. Arguably more nice is the deer. Deer is going to be very nice tempo while we wait for the other pieces of the build. I don't think I had a single run of this. I only did like 9 or 10 runs of this and got these games, which is in stark contrast to my last thing where I think I did around 60, which is very high. And oh man, that bust there is so nice. But deer is still like some of the best tempo you can have. I think Tiger Bug is now like a contender, but yeah, so the synergy here is really nice. This build just felt really fun to complete. And you see here, I have a fur-bearing trout in here so that my Chimera could get mana before I got a Kitsune. And I was lucky enough that my stork hit the fur-bearing trout. And here we already have Kitsune, and that's nice. And a level 2, and we get a second Kitsune. Now I'm gonna do it like this, because it's actually gonna pull all of the mana that this front Kitsune is producing to my Chimera, and I don't think my front Kitsune really produces much there just by the way that the snipes worked, but it's pretty neat. And you see here, that there is Hamster. Hamster was the latest addition to the pack. Now, I try to put all of the packs in the description, by the way, for those of you who want to try this out for yourself. I would love to watch some other people try this out, honestly. It was really fun to do and really interesting to watch. But Hamster was the last addition to the pack, just because I had a lot of trouble finding stuff. I do have Tannost and Tangrisner in here. I thought that would be cool to like buy those, and then the next time I buy them, they'd be cool. They'd be cool. That's good descriptions. What I'm trying to say is, the next time I bought them, they would be extra valuable. And I tried that in a few of the other runs, but I didn't end up having enough to show that off. You see here, we've already got level 3 Kitsune, essentially. And still searching for the praying mantis. Now, the mana generation we have already is definitely nice, but praying mantis I thought would just be like a bad thing, but technically it works. But praying mantis is actually a very key, necessary part of this build that really makes it shine, which was super heartwarming and surprising to me. I really enjoyed doing this build, and I will probably do more in the future. Now, I will say, kinda weird that I'm doing a Mantis build with unicorn pets before Troubadour. Like, is it even still his favorite pet? Like, what's going on with that? I don't know, that's pretty bizarre to me. But here we are, we get the Mantis. And I'm gonna level 2 this Mammoth, which is an interesting decision. I don't think it was necessarily bad. Obviously, Mammoth is only actually gonna scale 3 units instead of the usual, well, I guess the usual 4 that would scale. But it's still very valuable. I mean, look at these summons. Chimera, it's definitely not game-breaking like it used to be, but it is still completely viable. And I love that once you have a level 2 Chimera, you're starting to generate mana onto the back summon of it. I haven't gone for the Chimera summon badges, because those sound really annoying to get. Here's another Axe Handle Hound. Axe Handle Hound was terrifying to me for a lot of this. And yeah, I mean, look at those summons. And now, I mean, the 18 mana before you even go into the battle is fantastic. Also, it's snipe protection, so if anything happens, you know, it's safe. So it's pretty uncounterable. Psych, there's another seahorse. Luckily, we're on 2 health this time instead of 1. But I mean, getting summons at all from the Chimera after the Kitsune was yoinked is pretty darn nice. You know, see here we have 21 mana now. And I believe that's going to be the final out of battle thing. I'm very curious how much effort it would take to get 50 mana out of battle. And look at this team. What a terrifying team. The Stinky Sock here is definitely going to be very valuable here. But we managed to get 50 mana on our Chimera. And that wins it for us. Which means the out of battle mana completely won it for us. And yeah, that was the build. Have a great day.